Disney Channel.
Hello and welcome to Same Here,
Me Too. This is our podcast,
where we open up the conversation about life and share our experiences. The raw, the real.
Don't forget the embarrassing.
Of course, and all the juicy tidbits of our lives.
Telling our stories, what we've learnt as young women in our 20s. Nothing is off limits. Giving you true life unfiltered.
The podcast that makes you realise you're not alone. Hello and welcome back to Same Here.
Me Too.
Welcome. I'm your host, Naomi.
And I'm your other host, Kora.
What is up?
Hey guys. So there's been a bit of a change in the studio to this today and this week actually. So this is going to be our very first episode that we're actually recording. So hello.
As in filming. She means filming.
Oh yeah, filming.
We record every week.
I mean filming.
What is up?
Hi YouTube. So yes, we're now moving forward where all our episodes will be recorded. We've got a kick awesome set, which you probably might have seen us kind of tease on our Instagram. But yeah, we are now officially on YouTube, which is very exciting. It
is so exciting. We have worked so hard on creating the set that we love. And we have filmed. Mm-hmm. And I remember when if we go all the way back to when we first started.
Yeah. Episode number one. We were like, yeah, we're going to film this. It's going to be great. We'll put it on YouTube. It's going to be fun.
And then it just did not happen.
Oh,
it was a disaster. And then we tried again. And then we were like, this isn't working. And then we recorded a whole new YouTube episode. And we're like, oh, actually, that doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
And yet now, after a long journey,
we're
here. Episode 16, but episode 1 for YouTube.
Episode 1 for YouTube. And if you're new to YouTube, you can always jump across YouTube.
New to our podcast.
That's the one. If you're new to our podcast and you're not sure what are you talking about, episode 1, if you jump across to our first episode, you will hear all the drama that happened when we very first started filming. There's so much drama.
Great time
to be alive, but it was a pain in the ass. But yeah, so this is exciting. So it's going to be really interesting because it's like everyone who's been listening to us could possibly see us on YouTube. It's like, this is the face that matches the voice.
You get to see all the clunks, all the dings on the table.
You wonder what it is. That's what it is now.
Yep.
But I think, it's really funny when you first, when you hear people on the phone, you meet people on the phone and then you meet them in real life. It's like, sometimes the voice doesn't match.
Yeah, you create a picture in your mind. I did that for my boyfriend's boss recently. I've heard about my boyfriend's boss, obviously, many times. Yeah. And I had to pick him up from work a couple of weeks ago, and his boss walked out with him, and I was like, hi. Anyway, we drove off, and I looked at him. I'm like, wait, is that him? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, doesn't look anything like I thought he looked like.
It's not who I pictured.
He looks like a lad. And he really does. It's so funny.
He looks like a lad.
He does look like a lad. I thought he was like this older, a bit more stocky guy. And he's really not. He's like built and yeah.
Just not what you
think. He's not. He looks like a lad. It's great.
I always wonder what people thought what we look like compared to our voices. It'll be really interesting. So if you are on YouTube and you were watching our episodes before, listening to our episodes before, you're now watching an episode, put a comment, let us know what you thought we looked like. Do we match face to voice?
Expectation?
Or
do we surpass expectation?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Anyway, look, we are here. So let's do our weekly check-in. Kora, tell us what's been going on. I know it's been a big week.
It's been a big week, but then it also hasn't been a big week. It's been a week where just my general day-to-day life has been quite slow. There's not been much happening. I'm helping my mum's best friend Glennis with her business. And so I've been writing copy for her new website because we're basically relaunching her entire new brand. Mm-hmm. So I've been helping out with that. And so my actual day-to-day life has been quite boring, really. There's not much going on.
It's been a bit of life.
It's been a bit really. Yeah. But it was a very big end of week for me because I don't know, and if you've probably heard me mention it, but I actually was doing a challenge since Ash Wednesday where I wasn't allowed to watch TV or movies for 30 days. See if I could go 30 days without watching TVs or movies.
I remember the surprise when you told me.
Yeah.
The shock, the horror. Are you okay?
You're not going to survive, because I am somebody who takes TV and movies everywhere. Like, it's on my phone. Like, if I'm going to have a shower, I'll put something on the TV while I'm having a shower. If I'm going to, you know, go to cook something, that's like on watch while I'm cooking. If I'm just getting up to get ready to go to work, on my bed, the TV is playing something. I'm that person that has everything constantly around. And for once, I was like, okay, this is really weird. Like, oh my God, okay, what can I do? And I wanted to really challenge myself. But if you jump across to our Instagram, I have documented some of it. We'll story highlight it, but I'm going to finish it off really how it went and what I did in that time period. But I actually completed it. I finished it this week.
So proud.
Yay me. Yes. So I actually finally finished my 30-day. I went 30 days without any TV or movies, anything.
Shout out to everyone who knows Kora really well and didn't think she could do it.
I did it. But to be honest, there was a time where I was like, I almost didn't think I'd get through it myself. But yeah, I'm very proud of myself that I got through. But yeah, but what about you? How's your week been, Naomi?
My week, I've been in a bit of a bubble. So I had a very interesting start to the week, and I stayed at my parents' for the week because they went away for a few days. So I was looking after the dog, looking after the house, and I really went into a bubble. Yeah. And I just looked after myself for a week. It was great. I feel so great now. I'm like, yep, back on top of the world. I had some great chats with my parents, with my boyfriend, with you. Like, it's been a really good week. It's almost just going, okay, into a safe bubble. Yeah. And that's what I've needed this past week. And that's really been, it, really. Like, aside from that, I mean, I've hung out with my dog, my parents' dog. I've hung out at home. So I've watched some movies. I've cooked. I've baked. I baked like 3 times in 1 week or something. Why
have I not received any of the baking?
I did on Monday.
Oh yeah. They were good cookies. Yeah, chocolate chip cookies. They were good. They were amazing. But
so yeah.
I didn't know you did more baking.
Well, you can speak to Sam about that because they don't last very long.
Sam, you and I are going to have words.
I cooked them. I baked them. I think I baked on Wednesday. Yeah. I'm just trying to scratch my head and I realise it's right under my
headphone.
Yeah. So I baked them on Wednesday, and then by Thursday, I think we had 1 left by Friday. And I baked like 16 of them or something.
Lovely. Thanks, Sam. That's very kind of you to think about other people, Sam. You and I gotta have words.
But yeah, like that's been my week, and it's been perfect. But I do want to say, you know, coming back to what you said, first of all, hilarious that you realise that your challenge is done. I asked Kora whether she had finished her challenge because on Friday night I was like, hey, we could go to the drive-in movies and you want to come, have you finished your challenge? And she's like, oh no, I've got another week to go. And I'm like, I don't think that's right.
So
before we dive into that story, that is really going to be the crux of our episode today. We're going to talk about the challenge.
Yep.
And what that meant for self-discipline. So we do a little bit of a self-discipline episode, but it's really going to be about the challenge. Yep. What did Kora learn from it? My secret challenge that I've been doing and haven't really told anyone about. How am I doing? And that's what we're talking about today.
The idea of, because I think with self-discipline, everyone thinks it's, you know, discipline is a bad thing. It's like because when you're growing up, you're disciplined by your parents to do good, or if you do something wrong, you get in trouble. That's being disciplined. Yeah. But actually, and so I think there's such a negative connotation to discipline itself, and especially when people are like, oh, I don't like. But you have got to, give yourself that challenge. Give yourself that kind of, I don't know what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for there, a word.
I know what you're trying to say. It's like I just looked at the light and like totally.
You blinded yourself. Yeah, forget. When we have lights now, because we have a camera, we have lights. So don't look into the light. That's like don't look into the light. Okay, but no, I think. But going back to what I was saying is basically, I think we're taught the idea of discipline is a very negative connotation, but I think actually it can be a very positive thing.
Absolutely.
But especially the idea of self-discipline itself. So the reason why I thought my We don't actually have to tell the story, actually. We could probably pass the part.
We're definitely not going to pass this. Kora, please tell us, why did you think that your 30-day challenge was going to be another week?
Okay.
Please,
so
enlighten us.
I started my challenge, obviously, around Ash Wednesday, because that's what kind of prompted me to do it. So I started it on the Friday of that week of Ash Wednesday. So in my head, I was like, okay, well, Easter is 40 days after Ash Wednesday. Okay. Now I'm like, I can't
Follow us here. Follow us. 40 days after Ash Wednesday, as many of us know.
Yes. I couldn't go. I knew I couldn't go 40 days. So I went 30 days. So it's 10 days less. Right? So in my head, Easter is a week and a bit away. But I was like, but I finish my challenge the week before Easter because it's not on Easter, because Easter's 40 days, not 30 days. So I would obviously finish my challenge the week prior, which is obviously 30 days.
Obviously.
Now I forgot there's only 7 days in a week, not 10. So I realized that actually I don't finish the challenge
a week before Easter.
I finish it a week and a bit before Easter.
Funny
because that's 10 days. So, it took me a little while because I was banging the calendar like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it wasn't adding up. I was getting very frustrated. And then I realized it kind of clicked on me. I'm like, look, this, it's a week. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 7 days in a week, not 10.
We were on the phone. You told me on the phone. Yeah, we were on the phone yesterday.
Yeah.
And Kora told me I lost it. I thought it was absolutely hysterical. I was in tears, and I was like, how? First of all, rule number 1, listen to Naomi. She knows.
Not always, but most of the time.
Most of the time. Because I was like, Kora, I'm pretty sure you've finished your challenge. It has been a long time. I know, because we've wanted to watch movies together. We wanted to do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you've been like, no. And I'm like, at first it was, I'm 2 weeks in. And I was like, Kora, you've done 5 days. And now it's, I've got another week. I'm like, geez, Kora, how long is this 30 days going for?
So
longest 30 days of your life. It's like a plank. It's like a 1 minute plank.
Yeah, it's not 1 minute plank. It's a bloody, it's a 10-hour plank, but it feels like, yeah, definitely. Anyway, so that was that. But in terms of actually the challenge itself, it was very hard. There were times where I was like, especially when I had a shitty day at work and I wanted to come home and just, pour a glass of wine, sit on my couch and just watch a movie, and I couldn't, and it was very difficult. But I did find, because I don't like silence in my house, I like noise. So I found that audiobooks replaced the TV element for me, because I'm hearing a story, because it's not just music. So I was like, I just listen to music, but music doesn't always tell a story, and I like stories. So for me, audiobooks was that replacement, and I actually went through about 4 audiobooks.
So good.
Now I'm someone who doesn't read at all, so to go through an audiobook was a big thing for me. So I went through 4 audiobooks, which was amazing, and I was like, oh wow, and I've actually really got into audiobooks, which is, I never thought I would. So that was one thing. Obviously, I started to learn another language, which my grandfather will be happy about, because I learned Italian, so he'll be very happy. But yeah, so it were times I really had to go, no, Kora, come on. You've got this far. It's okay. Just keep going. And there are times where I'm like, well, no one's going to know if I cheat.
I totally would have known.
You bloody wouldn't have.
I would have.
Maybe. But I think, I kind of was...
I know all.
That's not creepy. Just...
For those of you for those of you listening to the podcast and who can't see the video on YouTube,
the eyes she's making.
We'd totally turn that into a sound bit, and we'll put a little snippet. It's like, when your best friend tells you that she knows all. Anyway, carry on with your story.
Okay, yes. Anyway, so I was like, but yeah, no, in my head I was like, okay, you can't cheat, but there were times where I came so close to it, well, no one's going to know. Yeah. No one's going to know if I cheat because it's with me. But at the same time I went, but you'll know you actually didn't do it. And for me, that was actually more terrifying than someone else finding out. Now, I don't know why that is, because I've never had that before. And for once, it was like, why lying to myself is more terrifying than someone else finding out the truth? It was something that kind of never kind of realized on. And I've started to rely on myself more and having to kind of push myself and be my coach. I had to be my accountability coach. I had to be my motivational coach. I had to be kind of 3 hats whilst getting through this challenge. And it was, like I said, it was days where I was like, nah. But then I was reminding myself, you know, what could you be doing if you sat and watched TV, what else could you have been doing around you?
Yeah.
So I did other things, and I felt more accomplished because I got more done. And that feeling of confidence going, oh, I did that because I pushed myself, really actually gives you more joy and more satisfaction with oneself than, say, you know, just doing like pushing yourself to go to the gym and, you know, because that's also self-discipline. Like pushing yourself to do something that you don't really want to do, but you know you have to do. That in itself is self-discipline.
Without a doubt. And I think, you know, what you said, I'd love to touch on what you said before with, you don't know why for the first time, I suppose it's such a big thing for you to go, but I'll know.
Yeah.
I'll know that I didn't do it. And I'll know that I had a cheat day. And I think it's a really powerful realization to have, because you realize that at the end of the day, it doesn't make a whit of difference to anybody
but yourself,
whether you do the challenge or not. And that goes for anything in life. But it matters to you, and it's whether you can prove to yourself that you can do it. Oh, there we go. There it is. But I think, you know, coming back to self-discipline, why it's so powerful is, you know, when someone tells you you can't do it. Both Kora and I are very competitive.
I am not competitive at all.
She really is.
I'm really not.
Nobody who knows you would believe that. Nobody.
What are you talking about? I don't care at all.
Nobody. Like Sienna might.
Sienna is my 4-year-old little cousin, so yeah, she might believe it.
Or Letty might believe you.
Oh, the newborn, yeah.
The newborn baby, she might believe you. Yeah. So we're quite competitive. And I know for certain that there have been times where someone has told me that I can't do something. And I'm like, oh, you think I can't do that? Okay, well, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And the power behind self-discipline is, rather than having that outside inspiration or that outside push of someone of going, I'm going to prove you wrong, or I'm going to prove you right, or whatever. Yeah. You get to go, I want to do that. I'm going to prove to myself that I can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's that empowering thing of going, actually, this is what's important to me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter to anyone else. Yeah. Whether you do it or not. But you know for yourself, you're going to feel so amazing once you've completed it. You know, 30 days without watching TV and movies. She's a walking TV movie encyclopedia. Like, she could pretty much quote just about any movie. Like, it's insane. I'll start quoting with her and she'll finish the movie. So for her to go 30 days without any of that, yeah. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of you as well, because it did take discipline.
Yeah,
because there were a few days where I'm like, oh, Boo, can we just like watch a movie? Like, I just want to chill with you. Can we like watch Bridgerton? Because I still haven't finished Bridgerton. Really late on the bandwagon there. And Cora's like, no. And I'm like, no.
We've got to be good. Yeah.
Be good. I get it.
Yeah.
And we found other things to do.
Yeah, we did.
Which is awesome. But you still stood strong. Even in those moments where I'm being the bad best friend going, boo.
Yeah. Or not the bad best friend, but being the devil on the shoulder going, hey, it's okay. No one's going to know. It's
but then sitting on the other shoulder going, no, I will support you. This is your choice. And because I do know that this was important to you. And I think that's the most important thing.
I think I wanted to prove something to myself. Obviously, I spoke a couple of weeks ago about my self-discovery and my journey and building myself back up again. And I think this was a big thing for me, which was because I start so many things. I used to start so many things in life and I never finished them because unless there was an outside, like you said, an outside source telling me I had to finish it or forcing me to finish it, I would just never do. I'm the worst procrastinator out there. Like if I have to do something, I will do 1,000 other things. Like, I mean, when I was writing my dissertation for university, I think I must have cleaned my room about 7 times before even sitting down and writing a sentence. Like I literally would do anything. I was so bad at procrastinating. And even at work, I'm awful at it. I mean, but there are times when I can sit down and put bum up, head up, get the job done. And so for me, this was something that I'm like, you need to push through on your own. Like, because obviously I also have very bad body issue image, which I did touch on in the episode. Obviously I'm getting better, I'm getting more comfortable in my body, but of which I've never been able to do a full diet for anything. Because I've always kind of been like, there's chocolate there, I'll have the chocolate. Oh, there's a lolly, I'll have the lolly. So we're like, oh, we're going to take away pizza. Okay, I'll have pizza. Like, I'm really bad at it. So for me, I was like, no, this is something that literally is like chocolate and pizza and wine and alcohol for me. It's like going
cold turkey, like stopping smoking it. That's how it felt. It was literally weird. It was addiction. It wasn't that bad. Maybe it was. But it was something that I was like, no, I can do that. I can push through it. I can do it on my own. And to be honest, I have a new relationship with TV, and I actually realized when I was doing it that there were times where I was like, okay, like when I went to sit down for dinner, I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, because I would watch, and that was one that I was like, okay, I can listen to an audiobook, or I can call my parents. 9 times out of 10 call my parents, because there's nothing really else to do, especially because I don't have, like, my housemate is normally with her boyfriend, so I don't sit and eat dinner with my housemate at all. So I'm on my own. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit quietly on my own. It's a bit boring, a bit sad. So I would do other things, but that's kind of when I would probably sit and watch TV. And the only other time I was like, I would sit and watch TV is when I go to bed at night. Like when I want to wind down, get into my bed, I just put something like a trashy sitcom show or something like that on, like that's 20 minutes and watch it then. They were the only 2 times I really struggled. Most of the other time I found things to do, things I never thought I would do. And I'm like, oh, right, I have the time now. I can do this. This is more exciting. This is actually more entertaining. This is more fulfilling. Yes. And that is where it comes down to. TV and like, it's so easy. The majority of people have a TV. A lot of people have multiple TVs. They'll have a TV in their bedroom. They'll have one in the living room. Maybe they have a media room. So there's a lot. It's easy, right? It's so easy. And you find
convenient.
Exactly, convenient. And so we do it out of convenience because it's easy, and we sit down and it's almost like we lose the whole, let's sit down and have a meal together. Let's have a conversation. Let's read a book. Let's play a game.
So screens.
You know. Exactly. Picking up your phone, sitting there. It's so easy. And I think when we take that away, we can find other things to go, oh, actually, I feel amazing. Like you having listened to 4 audiobooks. I know you. She doesn't like reading. And
it took me, to put it in perspective for people, it took me a whole year to read Twilight when I was younger. Now, if you know Twilight, it's not a big book.
Are you kidding? It's a big book. It's about that big.
The first one is not that big?
The first one's that big.
Okay, still. But it's not like, it's like probably maybe 2,000 pages, if that?
Yes. That's a pretty big book.
It took me a year, 365 days to read that book.
Fair.
Like, I really don't like reading.
Yeah, okay.
And so for me to get through a book, especially also a non-fiction book as well, because I read, one of the books I got through was Becoming, Michelle Obama. That's 9 hours.
Freaking amazing book.
It's a very good book.
Oh my God, it's like the best book ever.
But it's a 9-hour audiobook. I got through it.
Yeah.
Never thought my wildest dreams I would, but I did.
Yeah.
Because I had things to do. And obviously, like, I have a speakerphone in my house. I just had it when I was walking around doing my laundry, doing my house chores. But I felt like I could because it was just listening to a story.
Yeah.
So I think with self-discipline, it does actually bring, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's not easy. But then again, change doesn't come from comfortability.
No, it does not.
Like, that is the one thing, like, you know, there are times where, like, when I'm in at like a fitness class, especially when I'm at spin, you know, I'll have my instructor going, if you're feeling comfortable, then put up that
put it up.
Turn
on more
strength. Resistance.
Weight.
Resistance.
Make it,
turn that resistance higher.
Wow, we go to spin so often, and
we could think of the word. It's resistance.
Turn it up.
Yeah,
what they say.
Yeah, but you turning up that resistance, it makes it harder. You've got to keep the beat of the music. But they say, like, oh, change doesn't come from comfortability. You've got to be uncomfortable. And I was in that moment, you're like, shut up, shut up.
My legs are falling off.
But it's so true, and it's something that's stuck with me for a very long time. Change doesn't come from comfortability, but also it's really, we get stuck in these what I call ruts and habits. And it's so bad because literally the first day I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm doing it. I'm not. Literally the first day, the first thing I did, I got up, woke up in the morning, I went straight for my laptop, opened it up and typed in Netflix. I went, wait, what are you doing? Like, I almost went into autopilot mode.
That was day one.
I was like, no, Kora, no, you can't. And there were so many times I would go into autopilot mode, which, I'd be in the car, I'm just gonna go home, put on a TV show and just go to bed, or put on a movie. I'm like, no, I can't do that. And I did. And I very much got into old habits and bad habits. So what I had to do with this challenge, what it allowed me to do, not only to find other things I can do and fill with my time and realize actually there's more hours in the day than you realize because, but also that, I can actually make new habits.
Yes.
Just because you have a habit doesn't mean it's with you for life. Especially if it's a bad habit. You can very much get rid of bad habits and make new habits. Like you change your habit to something more that's more going to be more fulfilling for you, but more, geared to what you want to do and help you in your journey of life. And whether that's, wanting to, like I said, learn a language, or whether you're wanting to go traveling, or whether you want to save money, or whether you want to do something, upskill in your job, or whatever it is, it's giving you that time and ability to be able to do that and change those habits. And so it was interesting. Now I'm reflecting back on it, how much it was. And it's that self-discipline, because if you know me, I had no self-discipline. Literally, I'm the worst person. Like, I'll be out, I'm not drinking tonight, and my friend goes, I'll have one. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll have one. Like, I'm so bad.
You twisted my arm.
You twisted my arm. My arm's very loose anyway. It was a big thing for me.
I think everyone should do a challenge like this. It doesn't have to be this, but yes.
No, keep going. Yeah.
Purely because when you take yourself out of that moment, out of that comfort zone, out of the habits that you've created for yourself, you actually discover a side of yourself that you might not have realized you had. And so, like, I was reading a really interesting article earlier today from Forbes, and it was all about self-discipline, funny enough. There we go, there's another. And it was about the whole fact that when you create a habit, it's literally autopilot. Once we have created a habit, we don't think about it, we just do it. And so when you're doing something different, your brain automatically goes into, I don't like this. This is different. We don't normally do this. Why are we doing this? And so you feel uncomfortable, and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I will just go and back to what I'm doing because it's comfortable. But we don't grow in that space. We don't grow from that place. We just stay the same. Yeah. Which all of us have an area in our life where we could go, actually, I could really do with changing my habits in this area. Yeah. I'm the same with what you said earlier about changing a diet. I'm the same. There have been so many times. The only times that I've been able to stick to a diet is when I've had actual health problems and I have not been allowed to eat certain foods. Yeah. And it's literally been like, you cannot eat these foods because you'll be in agonizing pain. Yep, great. All right. But unless I have that...
like a consequence if you did it.
Like a terrible consequence, which trust me, the pain that I did have back then was excruciating and awful, and I would have done anything to stop it. Unless I have that, I'm like... I was even thinking about it the other day because I saw this video, and it was how your body changes if you don't eat sugar for a month. And I was like, oh, oh, that could be quite interesting. And I was like, okay, well, I could do that. I could totally go 30 days without eating sugar. Let's see, just to see what would happen. Not to lose weight, not to do anything like that, more just to see the change. And because I know, obviously, you can get more mental clarity and all of that stuff. And then I immediately went into, oh, but it's Easter soon. And Easter, there's chocolate. And Easter, there's all the yummy stuff. And we have family, celebrations. And but then we've also got this. And I sat there and went, oh.
You can't do that.
Oh, that's what's going on. You literally just gone, oh, that's a really cool idea.
And then talked yourself out of it.
And then talked myself out of it. So I'm not going to do it over Easter because I love Easter and I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
But after Easter,
you're going to do it.
I'm going to try it. But actually, I'm going to give it a go. And I will document.
On that with you obviously doing a challenge, you did actually start.
I did.
A routine. Or you tried to do, was it
42 days.
42 days.
To build a new habit.
Now, how did you go with it? Because we talked about mine, but obviously you're a little bit behind because we both started around the same time. So you've still got some time to go. How are you doing with it in terms of, are you being disciplined with it or is it kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit?
So I picked 6 things that I wanted to change. And they weren't super massive things. It was like, I want to read 15 minutes a day. I want to stretch 20 minutes a day. I want to exercise for 30 to 45 minutes a day. I want to drink 4 liters of water a day. I want to get up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock every morning. It started at 6:30 and within a week I changed it to 7 a.m.
Good discipline there.
But I have to say, there were certain ones where, like, exercising every day 45 minutes.
That was a bit
ambitious. That was too much. It wasn't so much ambitious. It was,
too much on your body.
Me, too much on my body. Doing the stretching every day, I'm quite consistent with it. Don't get me wrong, I have not done it every single day. But I'm far more consistent because it's in the forefront of my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take a moment, just going to stretch my body, move my body a little bit, and I feel much better for it. The one that I am nailing is drinking 4 liters of water every day.
Really?
So I'm so good at drinking water.
Nice. I'm awful at it.
I'm addicted to water.
I have a 2-gallon litre bottle of water.
Yeah.
At work. My plan is to always drink that 2 gallon, not 2 gallons. 1 gallon, 2 litres. It's 2 litres, 1 gallon. And my plan is I have to drink one of those every day. I get through half of it every day. I'm like,
seriously?
Yeah, I can't fit.
You need to drink water, like good water.
I know, but I
fill it up at my. Oh, you have one.
I have one. Okay, what we'll talk about there is she has a filter.
I have a water ionizer sitting on my counter, and it's amazing. And the water is so pure and amazing, and it does good things for your body.
But but no, it was more kind of. I think the thing is, it's when I'm working away. I get so involved in what I'm doing, I forget about kind of the outside world. So I'll be like,
I get that.
And so you just don't pick up the glass of water and stuff. And when I do, I'm back and forth from the toilet peeing every day because I have a bladder of like a 2-year-old. So like I'm constantly running around trying to pee. So that one's hard for me. But
sorry, I'm just quickly.
Cut this bit.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think it's definitely, one of those things where with the idea of self-discipline and kind of looking into that, I think, maybe you did one too many things at a time, or that's why it was hard to, if you are going to change a habit, like I literally had one focus. I couldn't watch TV or movies, and it was one thing. I think if I had multiple things I was changing in my life at one time, I would really, really struggle.
Yes.
So I
think I was very ambitious. Yeah. Even though there were small things that I was changing,
it's still quite
a lot of things to change.
And also, if you are somebody who is like a creature of habit and you do have a lot of habits and you have a routine in your life. So for example, if you for you do have a routine, you work from home. I obviously have a routine. I go to work every day. So if you're somebody who has a constant routine, changing lots of little things still makes a massive impact in your life.
Totally.
Because for me, watching TV, that's still a little thing. That's not a big, obviously in my life, it's a big thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it isn't. It's quite a small thing. So I am going to do another challenge, probably another 30 days without something to see what I can change again. But it's, again, I wouldn't do more than one thing at a time.
Yes.
Just because I feel like to push myself, and that's, I think, with some people with the idea of losing weight, and I could be wrong, but for me, it's always been, it's been hard because you've got a lot of outside sources telling you different things and a lot of inside sources stuff. But I think you're like, I'm trying to exercise and work on and eat better. Well, why don't you do one of the why don't you do one or the other?
Yeah.
So for me, when I was trying to lose weight, I just focused on exercising.
Yeah.
So I would go to spin, I would go to my pole classes, I would go to do yoga at home. I would just focus on
moving your body.
Yeah. That then now has become a habit for me. Like, I go to spin 3 days a week. I go to pole. I literally, without even thinking, I just book my classes now. It's just
part of what you do.
It's part of my life now. It's just it's become part of my routine.
Yeah.
So now I want to eat better to help with that loss of weight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to now focus on that.
Yeah.
So I can then, that becomes my new routine and my new habit, and that becomes ingrained in me. And then you can move on to the next thing. So I think maybe what this, the two examples we have, it's your 42-day challenge and my 30-day challenge, is it the fact that if you do one self-discipline, you need to focus on one thing at a time and allow yourself to have one thing? Because if you have lots of things, your body's gonna be like, can you just let me do what I want to do?
Yeah. And you do shut down. You kind of go,
what's the point?
That's too much.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there have been certain things that I have done every single day, and I still, oh goodness me, and I
do really well here today. You've just whacked about 4 times. This is the first time you've done it this many times, I think.
Yeah. I think it's because it's a bit of a new setup.
Haven't quite got used to it.
I got my spatial awareness. So, like, I do set my alarm for 6:30 every morning. I have 2 alarms at 6:30 and 7 a.m. And I am very good at getting up at 7. Mm-hmm. I struggle with 6:30, but I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
So that one that's become a habit. Even on the weekends, I will set my alarm for 6:30 unless I go to bed really late.
Yeah.
Then I'm
very hungover.
Yeah, that too. Which doesn't actually happen very often.
We're very sad 20-year-olds.
20-year-olds?
20-something-year-olds.
I want to make it a habit, and I want to keep doing it every single day. So that I do, but I would agree with you that when you're looking at changing something or challenging yourself with something or adding in something new, pick one thing. I'm so guilty of this. Like, so guilty of this. I want to do everything at once.
I think a lot of people, it's a case of, the idea of, I want change, I'm going to do it now. I want it now. It's like, yeah, you're very guilty of that. Very guilty. And I was as well.
So guilty of
that. And I was as well, actually. I was like, okay, I want to lose weight. Can I lose weight in 2 months? No, it's a process.
Can I do it today?
Can I just blink and I've lost the weight?
Yeah.
It's not like that. It is a longer process. It's a process. So I think kind of rounding up this episode of kind of self-discipline, if you are looking to wanting to do something to challenge yourself and to get some sort of self-discipline, like, I can do this. Our advice, definitely pick one thing.
One thing.
But also remember, don't rely on other people to be your motivational coach or your accountability coach. You've got to rely only on yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person in your entire life who's going to be for you there every single time, whether it's you're heartbroken, upset, whether it's an award you've won or whatever it is, the only person that will always be there for you, no matter what, is yourself.
Without a doubt.
So you've got to remember you are all three.
You're your numero uno. Like, you're your first. You're uno.
You're your uno man. You're your uno man.
Yeah, I agree. I think, that pick one thing and then practice consistency.
Yeah.
Practice, because if you stay consistent, you will, 1, prove to yourself that you can do it. 2, you will create that new habit. And 3, once you've done that, you get to then move on to the next thing, and you slowly build on that. You change your habits, and you can literally shift your life. It's really amazing.
It's so amazing
when you don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do what Naomi did. Do what I did.
No, do what she did. She was successful.
I was successful. Pretty much. But also, it gives you so much more. It gives you a boost in your life. It gives you that sense of fulfillment, and you do become happier from it.
Without a doubt.
In those moments where in my head, I was like, oh my God, I just want to do it. I'm so done with it. I remembered how much better I'd feel about myself if I got through this.
Yeah.
How much more of accomplishment it would accomplishment it would be once I did it. But yeah, so that kind of wraps up our episode a little bit.
I have one more question before.
Oh God. Yeah.
I want to know, moving forward from here, just in a sentence, what does your relationship with TV and movie look like moving forward? Are you going to go back to watching TV 24/7? What is it?
No, I think definitely it has changed.
Yeah.
My relationship with movies and TVs and watching it all the time has most definitely changed. I think I won't fall back into old habits because I got so much done in my life and I don't want to go back. So it has definitely changed. So yay!
Super, super exciting.
It's very exciting. But yeah,
awesome.
So thank you everyone. Thank you to YouTube.
Thank you.
For watching us. Hopefully you've gotten through this far. Sorry, this episode's a little bit longer because we had to introduce the YouTube.
Yes.
So hopefully, you
stuck with us.
You stuck with us. Yay. Go you. But yeah, we're really excited. From now on, we'll be recording every episode. So don't forget to give subscribe to whatever platform, whether it's you're listening on Spotify, Google Play, or any of the podcast channels. Don't forget to give subscribe. If you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any episodes that we launch. And also follow us on our socials as well at
you can see them in the
description bar below.
Thank you. I was like, down below this video.
In the description bar below. So give us a follow at Same Here Me Too across all our social channels, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yay.
I don't know what to say then.
We're just super excited to be here.
Yeah.
I think we're super excited because we finally done it.
Yay!
So
after so long. Yay!
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We will talk to you again next week. Have a beautiful week. Send us any questions, any topic ideas, anything you want us to discuss. And we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.